So you are putting in all this work to plan your videos, to shoot your videos, to edit your videos, but you're not getting the views that you're looking for. And I would argue that the most important part of your YouTube videos is the first 10 to 15 seconds is your introduction. And so that's why in this video and this training, I'll be sharing 3 of my best practices and essentially a checklist that you should look out for when creating your next YouTube video. And be sure to stay around after the training because I'm actually going to be using real life examples of other YouTubers and how we're going to break down their intros and see how it can help you. And I know you're going to find a lot of value in this training. But if we're just meeting, or if we've met before, my name is Omar eltakrori. I'm one of the content creators here at Think Media, and I'm so excited to be doing this training. If you're pumped to level up your views, hit that like button for me. And if you are watching on the live stream, you're a real one. Go ahead and put where you're watching from down in the comments, but maybe you're watching on the replay. So go ahead and in the comments below, put replay family in the comments if you're watching on the replay. But I'm so pumped to get into this. And essentially, we're going to be talking about how to start your YouTube videos, and helping you hook your viewers, So this is what we're going to learn today. We're going to learn 2 things. We're going to learn the best practices for your intros, and then we're going to review other YouTubers' intros. But I didn't want to go on without shouting out the sponsor. But before I shout out the sponsor, shout out to Els from Texas. We got Scott from Crestview, Florida. We got Herb and Spice Kitchen all the way from London. I don't even know if you guys do that. Sorry if you don't. Anyway, Omar, you're messed up. How about Coach Rosalind from Birmingham, Alabama? Bama in the house. But I wanted to go and let you know about our sponsor for this video. And our sponsor is thinkmasterclass.com. thinkmasterclass.com. If you want to take YouTube seriously, like straight up, like Omar, I really think that I can make a part-time or full-time income. And I'm here to tell you that you actually can, and you don't need a huge following and a huge subscriber base to do so. Then check out our free 1-hour class on YouTube. And that can be found at thinkmasterclass.com. You can check that out after this video. We'll post links in the description to that training, and it's free, 1 hour, and you'll learn a lot about how you can take your passion and create an income using YouTube. So real quick, but I wanted to lay some ground rules. Sometimes there's like this reality that you need more viewers just in general. Like I just need views. Well, what's views if it's, number one, not the right kind of view? And what's views if somebody clicks on your video and then clicks right off? That's not a good view. So we want quality viewers. And the 2 things that help that, number one, is by increasing your click-through rate, your CTR. Your click-through rate is when the opportunity presents itself, as in your video shows up when somebody searches, somebody's watching a video like yours, and it's right there on the recommended. They want to click your video. That is click-through rate. So we're going to be talking about how to increase your click-through rate. That's the carrot inside of the chocolate. There's this marketing term called the chocolate-covered carrot. I don't have to go deep, but that is the carrot. You want to increase your click-through rate. Number 2, you want to increase your average view duration. You want people to actually watch your video, because if YouTube is seeing that people are clicking on your video and then staying on your video, they're going to then push your video out to more people, therefore increasing your views. And so I want to talk about the things that affect these 2 statistics, essentially, and that this will then increase your viewership. And so if you're pumped, again, if you didn't like this video, like it. And so let's get right into it with this quote here. According to Time Magazine, the average attention span for the notoriously, I love this word choice, notoriously ill-focused goldfish is 9 seconds. People, you and I, now generally lose concentration after 8 seconds, ... because man, that's not encouraging, but it's the reality. And so this tells me one thing is that we have about 8 seconds or so to keep someone from leaving your video to watching your video. You have 8 seconds, and there's a few things that actually play when it comes to these first 8 seconds or so. And so it's these 3 things. These are the 3 things that creators like yourself need to give your viewers. Number one, you need to give your viewers a strong title and thumbnail. This is the hook before the hook. This is your video before the video. This is so important that this is what increases your click-through rate. Like I mentioned, that your title is clear and that your thumbnail makes me want to click it. And so that's number one. Number two is a strong hook. And a strong hook, we believe in both verbally and visually. You know, when I started this video, I scripted out my hook to make sure that it was something that would keep you on if it pertained to you. So a powerful thing about a hook is that it keeps the people you're trying to reach on, but also visually. I think so much, we're passionate at Think of Media about how things look. And I would even argue prior to 2021 or later that, you know, just turning on your phone is the way to go, but it is getting more and more competitive. And so just simple tweaks that you can make to your setup to actually make you stand out from your competition could help. And that helps with the hook. It produces some authority when they see a little bit of a blurry background, when they see a little bit of B-roll, and I'll get into things like that. And number three is good sounding audio. You never want your audio to be distracting, right? And so just an example I want to show you is a video we dropped kind of recently on our channel. And it is a secret YouTube studio idea. And this was the thumbnail to that video. It stands out. You could tell it's a little bit exaggerated. My skin is more orange than typical, but having a little bit of an exaggerated look, like when you look at movie posters and things like that, it's very exaggerated. There's a lot of like contrast, it's very punchy, but nonetheless, you want to, you know, make somebody intrigued. Like, what is he shushing about? You know, like, and that's fake. What does he mean by that? That it's causing curiosity, therefore clicking. And I just want to take you through the journey of what a viewer would go through. Then they would see. Then they would see me open up the video with an intro. And this time I kind of went more vloggy style. I was holding the camera and I stated a question. I said, what if I told you that this black wall behind me isn't a black wall? And actually it's a piece of paper. It's like, what? It's a piece of paper. I kind of show it off, but then this is what I mean by B-roll. As I'm talking, this clip comes up of a staircase behind me with a window. And then immediately right after that, I show the final product without knowing how to get there, just straight up like boom, boom. And then the bumper comes in and you're like, whoa, wait. I want to know. That's kind of what you want people to feel when it comes to watching your video. That's the journey. Think about your viewer's journey, because the creator that understands the viewer the most wins. The creator that understands the viewer the most wins. And so let's talk about your title and thumbnail real quick. You know, I did about 7 years as an Army officer, and anytime we gave a briefing, it was so big, and the acronym was BLUF. You know, like, hey, sir, just give us the bottom line up front. What do you want us to do? And I think when you're creating your YouTube title, it's really important that you just straight up, what is your video about? And one reason that this has become more important is because people are watching on their smartphones, and many times you can agree with me in the comments if this pertains to you as well, but the title starts to get cut off, right? With like the ... And so you only have a few characters to actually intrigue somebody to want to click your video. And so the best way to do that is to simply put the bottom line up front. And so last week we dropped a video on editing tips, right? So the way we titled that video could have been titled like "Get Better Edits Today," or you can put "How to Edit Your YouTube Videos, 3 Easy Tips," because most people want to know how to edit their YouTube videos rather than just me saying how to edit, you know? So if that kind of makes sense. And it reminds me of like newspapers, you know, whenever you would get the newspaper you were subscribed to, you know, there was headlines that were competing for you to read the column, right? And so, you know, billions, they say like 2 billion people a day open up YouTube, and or something like that. I can't stand behind that fact, but something like that, like a huge amount of people open up YouTube every day, including myself. And based off of who I'm subscribed to, like my newspaper, people have to convince me to click on the video, even though I'm subscribed. You don't watch every video on your subscription feed typically, but you want people to click on your video, and a bottom line up front title will help that. Number two is that your thumbnail should convince me to click it. You know, like, again, back to this example of my thumbnail right here. What's powerful is that I could have not put any of these editing softwares in the image. If it just said editing tips, it wouldn't have been as powerful. But if you are one who edits on Premiere Pro, which is the PR on the left, Final Cut, you know, LumaFusion or iMovie, this will now connect the person. They're like, oh, I see that icon on my phone. I see that icon on my computer, and therefore is going to help me make a connection, right? So try your best to make a connection with the people that you're trying to reach. And I love this reality about YouTube is that you never have to do it high and dry. You never have to create a title and a thumbnail without looking first at what your competition is going to be. So before you even make a video, why don't you do some research before you press record and look at the thumbnails that you're going to be competing with? And I just love this because you can just make it better. I don't think better means better quality all the time. Better sometimes could be clearer. Better can sometimes be simpler. And so use that, use the search term, the search feature on YouTube, the search bar, to find your video that you're gonna make and just make your thumbnail and title better. The next thing is your hook. Your hook is so important because now that we've dialed in our title, we've dialed in our thumbnail, now we have to state a case, or we have to give people a reason to keep watching this video. And here's just a few things I think you can jot down or remember in regards to your hook. Here's number one is you can ask a question that states the problem. You know, this is just a good way to start. Like, did you ever want that blurry background in your YouTube videos? Like, yeah, you know, like asking a question or just stating the problem. Like, having so much people create YouTube content, you don't feel like you're standing out. You know, like you're creating connection. I did that to start off this video. I put you in the place of you're planning your video. Come on, and you're shooting your video, and then you're editing it, but you're not getting the views you want. You know what, Omar? That's me, man. You know, like I'm thinking about the hook. Number two, you can share a fact. You can say, you know, did you know 2 billion people open up YouTube every day? And, you know, who knows? You know, like the fact could just be something that really makes you like, oh yeah, I didn't know that. That's crazy. But that it intrigues somebody, builds a little bit of authority too when you can share a fact like that. Number three, in regards to your hook, is showing a transformation. You could, I mean, obviously verbally also telling the transformation in regards from this to that, as I showed you in my DIY YouTube studio backdrop video, that, you know, in the intro, you saw a clip of what it looked like without and what it looked like with. And there's something about us seeing the starting to the final product without knowing the process that intrigues us to want to watch for the process. And so showing a transformation is pretty powerful. And then another one is giving a tip right from the start. I think this is a very underrated way to start a video. But if your video is 5 tips to XYZ, just come out the gates, step on the throttle and say, tip number 1 to better lighting is to move the light right off to the side and actually shoot it down at your face. Now I got 4 more tips in this video, so let's get after it. Like, oh, dang, you just hit me with value. Now I want to stick to watch the rest. There's something about just sharing your tip right up front, bluff, bottom line up front. Just give it to the people. And remember, the creator that understands the viewer the most. Again, it is competitive to stand out on YouTube. And so if you're the one who's just giving the most value, trust me, more people are going to gravitate toward your content. The next one is maybe it's a little bit more advanced, but it would be to show B-roll, show off what you're going to do. You know, just show a snapshot, show a picture, show it in your hook, you know, that I'm going to take you from this to that, or just general B-roll to cause some stimulation for the viewer. Because like we said, we had about 8 to 10 seconds to keep the viewer engaged. And many times just adding some footage on top of your intro can help a ton. Now, if you're getting value, make sure you hit that like button. I'm pumped. Just a few more principles I want to go over before we get into these examples. But here's this picture. This is from 1940. I think this picture is actually exactly from 1942. But this is a BRC-40. This was designed for Army testing in 1940. And is there something that resonates with you? Put it in the comments what resonates with you in regards to the front of this vehicle. What resonates with you? Yes, in fact, that is Jeep's grill, right? It's Jeep's front bumper. And I think what's crazy is literally from 1940, now we're talking, I don't know math, but like 80 some odd years where that they have kept the same front bumper, and you know them because of that grill. You know them because of that bumper, right? And I think it's the same way when it comes to creating your intro bumper. Your intro bumper should, really quickly tell people what your channel is about. And I know people love to get so excited because never in their life have they created like motion graphics or animation with their logo. And then, we take this opportunity to create this like TV type intro, which I would even argue that television networks on HDTV, it's like a quick 3 to 5 seconds. I love watching Hometowns, but like Hometowns, it's just like, yo, we do this, this, and this, boom, Hometowns logo. And, but there's something powerful about your bumper just being clear. And so people know what they're getting into. It should totally match your vibe. One thing that is so funny is like, your energy could be completely different, very low, and like, we're going to review this tech product in this video. And so let's get into it, guys. And then it goes product reviews, cool creators, cinematic videos, like it's just such a disconnect. And as a viewer, you're like, whoa, that was a lot, because it should match, you want it to match your vibe. If you are more chill, I have a YouTube channel. I find myself a little to be more on the chill side. And so like, I kind of have like West Coast kind of like chill hop beat. Totally, I can do EDM if I wanted to, but that's not my vibe. And so I think that's something you should look into and ask friends of yours, like, how is this intro? Does this kind of match me? You want the energy to stay consistent. But if you want to get more help on your bumpers and your intros, go ahead and check out thinkmediatools.com. We have so many resources on that website, free resources, kind of point you in the right direction to creating a YouTube thumbnail. A YouTube bumper. And again, after this video, feel free. The description is going to be jam-packed with some follow-up trainings that you can kind of get into. And so the last principle that I want to talk about is your audio. Did you know that your audio is 50% of video? That literally part of the viewing experience of watching a video is through your audio. And so there's so many things that you want to take into consideration. It's just kind of something you want to note when creating your video, is that you want to avoid outside noise. I know this might sound a little, obvious to some people, but if you got a refrigerator or an air conditioning unit running so hard, trust me, when people click on your video and you got 8 seconds to convince them, it's gonna disconnect. Audio is actually like the great connector. It's you looking at the lens, but it's like the audio is making me feel like I'm right there with you. And so you want to have good audio, avoid outside noise, keep the music low. I'm not, you can totally have music under your audio, but it is important that it's not overpowering what it is you're saying. So if it's either or, and if you don't know how to turn down the audio when you're editing or whatever, just don't do audio altogether so people know what you're trying to say. But you want to keep that music low. So people, we like to say at Think Media, it's called the grandma rule. The grandma rule is, can my grandma understand what I'm saying even with the music playing under me? That's just like a rule. And like, if any for a second, we feel like it's a little too loud, we just drop that audio down. Another tip is to use a mic. Mics you can get a $20 mic, a lavalier mic that can clip on your shirt from Amazon. You can level up your audio for very inexpensive now. And the reality is onboard mics. So if you just bought a camera and you invested in the camera, the mic that is built into the camera isn't the best mic. That's just the reality. You want to actually level up your audio by investing in a potential microphone. What you see right here is it's called a dynamic microphone. Sounds like a radio podcast vibe. That's a dynamic microphone. You can get dynamic mics for like $60 as well. But using a mic is very important. And another tip when it comes to audio is just get the mic as close to your mouth as possible. Now, you can put a mic right outside the frame. So if I had a mic right here, it'd be inside the frame. But if I moved it right here, it'd be right outside the frame, but my mouth is so close to it, right? And I know some people just throw their shotgun mic right on their camera, step back and start talking. And that just, again, it'll create distance to your viewer because they're gonna feel like you're kind of far away. And so those are some tips when it comes to your intro. Keep these in mind when you are creating your video. I don't think it's all that much, but it is very, very important, because what good is it to create an awesome piece of work like a YouTube tutorial or a video or a vlog, and yet you have lost the viewer at the beginning? And so you want to increase that click-through rate. You want to increase your view duration, the average view duration. And so with that being said, I'm so pumped to get into these examples. I think one of the best ways to learn on YouTube is to see what other people are doing. And maybe somebody on YouTube has a different kind of content than you, but the type of video, like, you know, maybe it's like a cooking video versus a car working mechanic video, but similarly, it's the same kind of format. So I think it's really important to learn from similar formats and seeing what people do differently. And so I kind of picked a few people in our community. And if you didn't know, we have this community called Video Ranking Academy. These are students who went through our trainings, and they have grown. You know, they have seen success on YouTube, like we see here. These are some of our students that have reached their 100,000 subscriber mark. And what's so cool about these students of ours is that they're just putting in the work. They're doing what we're teaching, and they're finding success in their industries. It's so important to know that you don't need actually a big subscriber base to create a full-time income on YouTube. These two people here have actually went full-time on YouTube under 100,000 subscribers. And even here on Think Media, Sean went full-time on YouTube with 15,000 subscribers. Like, what? There's something to say about building a legitimate business behind your YouTube channel. And you can check that out again at thinkmasterclass.com. This is Video Ranking Academy students. And so I'm so pumped to get into this. So we're going to look at the title and the thumbnail of our students. And so let's start with number one. This is Andrew Finney. He's a local real estate agent in Las Vegas. And just real quick, I mean, like I said, we're going to look through the title and the thumbnail. I love the thumbnail. The thumbnail definitely stands out. You can make the connection that he's talking about homes, you know, just generally speaking, because he has a collared shirt. It's like, oh, he's a little professional. And the curiosity face is a very strong emotion to make on your thumbnail. But he has a house in the photo, and then he has very clear colored boxes that will help his thumbnail stand out from being searched. So when first-time home buyers are searching, hopefully with his stuff coming up, he will stand out from his competition. And so his title is 10 Questions to Ask Before Buying a House. It starts with clarity. It kind of gives essentially a tip right up front in the title. I think this is a great title. I think again, back to the bottom line up front, maybe it would have been maybe one way to actually experiment with this title is just to put first time buying a home ? Like, because I would connect to that if I was buying a home. And then putting in 10 questions you need to ask yourself. And so let's jump into his video and check it out, and then we'll talk about it right after.
Stephen R. Covey said it best. Most people do not listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply. Let that one sink in for a moment. Most people do not listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply. So how does this tie into the questions to ask before buying a home? It really comes down to asking yourself the right questions to clarify what's most important to you. Listening carefully to the answer and really thinking it through so you can truly hear yourself, your thoughts, your answers about what's most important to you. If you're new.
Okay, so that was Andrew Finney, one of his videos that he submitted for us to review. Just a few things. Okay, right off the get-go, I want to start on a positive note. As a real estate agent, visually, this is fresh. This is what I call Team Crispy. He's got his face is in focus. He's separated from his background. You can say that there's a little bit of background blur. He's also put a light behind him, so it kind of creates even more of a separation. But I love that he's even using soft lighting. The reality is you don't think about this, but he has a very nicely diffused light on his face, not causing very harsh, lights on his forehead and stuff. So visually speaking, I think it looks great. Now, the first thing I actually noticed in this video was that he was a kind of echoey, and the reality is echo sometimes is hard to get away from if you're shooting in a room that only is the only place you can shoot. Maybe there's no carpet there or what have you. But a few ways that you can reduce echo. Number one is furniture. If you have absorbent furniture, like a rug, like a couch, throw pillows around. You can go that way. Honestly, let me show you this. You could see this behind me, right over here. This blanket you see right here is it's an audio dampening blanket. And I just have it hung over my window because I don't want window light to come into my setup. But you're seeing the behind the scenes. Here we are, Omar. This looks like crap. Yes, that's right, because it's all about the visuals, right? You want to keep eyes this way, guys. No, but putting up blankets around you is not a bad idea. This is on Amazon. If you type in audio treatment blanket or something, and you can hang it up. But my office would be kind of echoey. And one way to dampen audio is just to put pillows around you. Obviously, you don't want in the shot. Put a blanket around you, and you can dampen some of that audio. The second thing I wanted to touch on with his video is his intro, right? So I saw that it took him, look at it. We're at 56 seconds. And he didn't deliver, a piece of value, which is, I know what he was trying to do. He was trying to, state like a quote and kind of reel you in that way. But we're talking 1 minute in, and I don't have anything I can take away from this video. Like, I would actually recommend that he started with a tip. If you're buying your first house, you really need to ask the question, how much am I getting approved for? And without this, you actually can't even go looking for a house. And I got 9 more tips, like, whoa, that was really quick. And it led you in. And so if you have the tip video, I really want to encourage you to start with the tip right up front to keep that viewer engaged. And then the last thing is his intro was a bit long, and again, kind of disconnecting from the energy. It's all about energy. I'm not saying his intro was bad, but the energy from the song, from his demeanor and tone of the way he started the video, there was a disconnection. And a lot of people are like shouting out my dance moves. It made me dance, which is cool. But in regards to his intro, I actually think it would have been, you can actually start with where the beat dropped, which would have cut his intro by a third or by and a half. Let's see here, like right when the beat drops. So don't need any of this. Just start from there. And it's like Las Vegas, home, real estate, making the connection. Cool, he does live stream. There's his logo. And then it would have produced the same kind of whatever you're trying to achieve in this regard. So that's that's a few things. But man, shout out to Andrew. He's literally killing the game. He's got 30,000 subs as a local real estate agent, which is amazing. But he's just committed to uploading consistent, valuable content. And trust me, if you're just putting out value, you're gonna win. You're gonna win. And so with that being said, let's go to the second student I wanted to review. This is Alex from Your Review Buddy. I love this idea that he's actually creating a product review. If you do product reviews, this is a great example on a product that's not that new. So this is actually not a bad way to get your foot in front of people, because you got pretty feet. That's weird, Omar. Chill, bro. Okay, anyway, no, you want to get in front of people's search. And the reality is some people are searching for older products because they're trying to save. And sometimes if you upload a video on an older product, you can show up in search because nobody's making videos on it. I just recently bought some golf clubs, and I was debating to get the brand new version or the older version to save some money. And so I was watching some like videos on both. But if somebody dropped a video on an older version recently, that would have came up. And just one good, let me just show you one good thing to see is that he has 273 subscribers, and look how much views his video has. He's getting more views because his video is showing up in search. Now, let's talk about his title. Let's talk about his thumbnail. So I think it's super clean. Like, you see that it says product review, you know it's going to be a smartwatch product review. And I do like how he didn't put he wasn't too repetitive in his title and thumbnail. You don't always have to put what your title says in the text form in your thumbnail. So he didn't have to put Samsung Galaxy Watch Active 2 in his thumbnail because it's right there in his title, bottom line up front. Now, I would say just little details. You can put product reviews, like capitalize the P, capitalize the R, because I read that and I'm like, Samsung Galaxy Watch 2 Active 2 product review. Like, you can just just keep it consistent in that regard. I think the something I would experiment with. I mean, obviously this video is working for him, and I would it's great. I would almost say, is it worth it in 2021? Question mark. I do that. I mean, I love camera videos. I love camera reviews, and making videos on older tech and saying like, how is the Canon M50 in 2021? Like, because you can snag a deal on it, whether you buy it used or what have you, but because it's older. So like something like that, because if you're thinking about the person who's actually searching this product, they might be in a place of debating whether to buy the new one or the old one. But if you made a thumbnail, if your thumbnail said like, still good in 2021, question mark, that might cause me to want to click, increasing your click-through rate. But let's check out his video, the first few seconds.
Looking to get a smartwatch and can't decide on which one to go for? Hi, my name is Alex, and in this video I will tell you why you need to consider the Galaxy Watch Active 2 from Samsung. Now you must be thinking, it is 2021 and this watch is from the fourth quarter of 2019, but it still does very well. I have been using mine for the last 6 months and I'm very happy with its performance. The smartwatch comes in a tiny box and only with a wireless charging cable, so there is no wall charger, just like the new Samsung or iPhone flagships. There is the option to choose from two sizes, 40mm and 44mm. Mine is the 44mm version and it looked very chunky and big when I first got it, but I got used to it in a short period of time. And speaking of options and versions, you can choose between the Bluetooth version and the 4G one. I went for the Bluetooth version as I do not need.
All right, number one, let me just right off the get-go, like, you're watching this video with like the same, experience and obviously with everything I mentioned in this training, but because he just got right into it, it was kind of hard to click away. Like, like he went straight into the content, and this would be a good example of like, not everyone needs a bumper. You never have to do anything, especially everything we say, but it'd probably be helpful. But just to know that like, he doesn't need a bumper. He just went right into it. He went, he had a few moving texts in his intro, and then he jumped right into some B-roll, and then he's giving me a lot of valuable things I need to know about this watch. I have a hard reality I want to tell you, friend, is that nobody cares about you at first. Okay, like nobody cares about you, but they care about the Galaxy Watch. And so make it all about what they care about. Again, the creator that understands the viewer the best wins. And so with that being said, I think he did a great job by just getting straight into it, because isn't it when you're looking for a review on a product, I want to see how this tests, something that we've implemented when we start reviewing microphones. I'll be like, yo, this mic is $250. This mic is $70. Do they sound any different? Let's get into it. And then just jumping straight into the tips or the tests. And so whenever reviewing a product, just go give people what they want right up front. And then if they want to stay because you're, giving more information, awesome. As far as visually, I mean, obviously it sounds good. Visually, dude, this is textbook. Like, let me tell you why this is textbook. This is textbook because number one, he's allowing the corner. I'm doing the same thing with this live stream. He's allowing the corner to create leading lines, what is called leading lines, to him that he is the center of attention. Now, if he was off to the side a little bit, it might have been a little bit harder, but his monitor screen is forcing you to look at him, and also the lines to his sound panels here is also forcing us to look at him. And then also his light being right behind him, it draws you to look at him. All that to say, his shot is really clean. This is what you would call symmetry. I used to say symmetry, but that's like not a word, but it's symmetrical, right? He's right in the center in the corner. Now, as far as what I would improve when it comes to his shot is, dude, having a computer screen in the back of your video is a free opportunity to create something visual nice in your image, you know, like whether that be a subtle color that's in the back, you know, it's like a cool background. Obviously keep your desktop clean. You don't want nobody looking at your junk, but like that, I mean, he would have easily, you know, you can add more color. And if you look at some of our videos, like Nolan does this often too, is he'll put his desktop background behind him and it'll say Think Media over some like awesome colors. And that's just a free, I mean, you already have it there. That would have costed no money. That would have costed nothing else more than what you already have. So I do think part of being a creator is being resourceful. Part of being a creator is understanding what you can do to maximize what it is you already have. I actually believe that excellence isn't doing more or doing better. It's doing the best you can with what it is you have. And so I think about shooting on smartphones. Sometimes a lot of people do use the selfie camera when they actually are holding a camera that looks better with the camera in the rear of the smartphone. Did you know that? Like this camera is better than the front camera. So excellence is not potentially using the selfie camera. Excellence is using the rear camera because it looks better, right? That's kind of the idea. But dude, so super clean. I love that he has jumped straight into the content, but I would just do that. I would just find a cool background. Obviously, you don't want it to be busy, but you being a tech reviewer, Alex, that you can actually increase your studio setup to match what it is your channel is about. Match whatever it is your channel is about. So that was your review, buddy. Alex, thank you so much for that submission. The next one I want to review is something that is kind of new in regards to a potential way that you can create content. I love this is Victoria with Daily Mom Living. She's like a minimalism kind of type. Dude, her stuff is like kind of cinematic, and we'll see for a second. But based off of her title and thumbnail, as you can see, one thing about her thumbnail that I would say could be better is that it's kind of hard to read her text. You know, you want your text to be legible, and if you're gonna use white text, I would encourage to not put it in front of white objects because it makes it hard to make out. I know she probably added a little bit of like shadow behind the text, but still it's kind of hard. One way you can actually, you know, avoid this is just put boxes around your text. If you put rectangles, you know, if she put black rectangles here or colored rectangles, like we saw with Andrew Finney, you know, it makes it more legible. If he just had the black over this house, you probably wouldn't see it. But all that to say, that's how I would level that up. Another thing is, you know, you don't have to, I mentioned this earlier, you don't have to put the title in your thumbnail because it could be repetitive. Think about how you can, you know, level up your thumbnail or create more of a curiosity for people to want to click. I think obviously the title is How to Make Juice with a Blender, Quick and Easy. Super clear, bottom line up front. I do love this. You can even see that her views on this video are catching up for, like, this video is going to do pretty well in regards to her channel because it is a search-based video that she created. I know she made it shorter than everybody else, which is helpful. You know, attention span, right? And I would just say you could have, you know, something like this is a transformation based. Like you could put all the fruit in one thing and then put the final product on the next side of it. And then maybe put no blender needed or without a blender as text. That would cause a little bit of curiosity. But let's check out her video and then we can talk about it after.
Guys, okay, so you're going to need a nut milk bag, a bowl, your glass jar, a glass of water, your blender, your fruits and vegetables, and a knife. You're going to cut everything into cube size, put everything inside your blender, and you're going to be adding some water. And this will just be helping your blender not work so hard. But if you do see your blender struggling, make sure to add some more water. And I also recommend not letting your blender blend for too long so your juice doesn't become warm. And this is what it looks like. After that, you're going to pour everything in your nut milk bag.
I know you like want to watch the whole thing. We can. I mean, we out here, but it's because she's getting right to the point. She's showing you exactly what she's, trying to get you to do, and it's very clear, straight up front. I love it, and her being super crispy is very helpful as well.
And that's pretty much it.
That's literally her YouTube video. Like everyone, there's 510 people on this live stream. Everyone who's gonna watch this video after just learned how to make juice without a blender. Like that's powerful stuff. That's what we want to do. We want to get people the most value right away and upfront. But one thing I love about her stuff is this is what you would call a face. I mean, kind of yes and no, but this is kind of a faceless channel. This is kind of a new way of content format. This is a video format that you can do. And what's awesome about this, remember I talked about audio tips? She doesn't have to worry about audio when she films. She just needs to worry about filming whatever it is she wants to show. And she just in post, when she's editing it, she then records her voice after she cut up the footage. This is a great way to control your audio in your videos because I don't know, maybe her kids are running around during this filming. Maybe there's a TV on, and that's okay. But she's getting videos out and with all that stuff. Anyway, looking at her channel, it's just very clean, cinematic. She really thought through her shots. All her videos kind of have this idea where she's just voice overing her day. It's kind of like her channel is called Daily Mom Living. So she's teaching people or moms how to like homeschool, cook, schedule their days, productivity and stuff like that. But the way she actually does her videos, I'm super impressed because it's crispy, it's clean, and you don't need an expensive camera to achieve what she's achieving. I mean, this is what we call a faceless channel though. But everyone watching this video, like you're glued because she's not beating around the bush. She's getting straight into it. Here's what you're going to want. If you're going to want to create some juice without a juice blender, you're going to want this, this, and this. Take your stuff, cut it up, put it in a thing, do this, add water. It's like, you don't need to be like, ever wondered how to make juice without a juice blender? You don't have to do all that. And so I appreciate all our VRA students for submitting these. I love that she went short. But again, make sure you guys check out the links in the description. Check out our free YouTube class at thinkmasterclass.com. If you didn't like this video and you got value, let me know by hitting that like button and share this video with a friend. Maybe you know somebody who's trying to level up their viewership on YouTube. Maybe you know a friend who, you're trying to do it together. Send this video to them and hopefully you found value in this video. I appreciate you, Think Media, so much for this training. We can't wait to see you in a future video. Peace.